What I was doing Saturday night, or my thoughts really is we don't exactly want a World War Three. I mean, there's still the issue of Gaza and you know Gaza and as well as Ukraine, Russian-Ukraine war still ongoing. So I don't think anyone would actually want another country, going to war. But in terms of impacts on oil price, we actually already see like a form of reaction in the market. On Friday, we saw that Brent crude rose to as high as $92.92.18 a barrel, which is like the highest since October last year. Before it eventually settled at $90.45. But when we look at maybe public continuous impact, if we could actually see oil price go further, it will really depend on the reaction from Israel in terms of Iran's attack on their
Mm.
state.
Now, I mean, we understand there are two sides of the coin with higher oil prices. So, what does it mean for Nigeria in terms of the government's revenue, and what does this mean for fuel prices as well? What's your opinion?
Okay, so for impact on oil price or for revenue, if we should see the oil price, go as high as $100 per barrel, or even still stay at this $90 level, it definitely means higher revenue for the federal government. But there are actually two sides to this, like if we should see higher revenue for government, it's a positive for the federal government, but for the average Nigerian, it might be burdensome, because I mean we've seen the removal of fuel subsidy last year, and normally higher oil price should actually affect pump price in Nigeria. So if we should see higher oil price, because we are still import dependent, assuming we have assuming we refine our products, we it would just be positive for the nation. But because we are import dependent on the refined oil, we're going to be getting it from these advanced nations. So that would mean that you know average pump price would be higher, and that would significantly affect the wallet of the average Nigerian on the streets.
Now, still talking about this, the way oil politics, just spend a bit time on oil politics. As it said, it looks like one man's meat is another man's poison, or one man's loss is the other man's gain. So every time a shot is fired somewhere in some parts of the world, the price of oil just seems like it's going up. And then looking at it from Nigeria's perspective, should we say, okay, well, let's just let the guns cry, so at least the prices will be better for us, making the profits.
I mean, like I mentioned earlier, there are two sides to this, and really, we don't actually want another war, because largely it looks like it's a positive news for Nigeria, but really large on the flip side is actually bad news, because like I said earlier, we are import dependent. So that means that average fuel price would be higher, and that would affect consumers' wallets. It would affect our inflation. I mean, our inflation has already crossed the 30% mark. So really, if we should see this escalate further, it will affect inflation level further, and that will affect the consumer wallet. So for our sakes, I will actually say that this current turbulence actually just died down.
Now, just one final one as a follow-up. This is because since President Tinubu came on board, you see that the fuel prices haven't moved that much ever since. So does it mean that fuel subsidy is back, or it's gone at this moment? Does that mean the subsidies are back right now?
All right. Okay, so before I give my response, I'll say I'll say I'm not giving it authoritatively. I mean, because there's really no official statement from the government or the NNPC that subsidy is back. But then, if we should look at it, if we look at the price of fuel now, compared to when it was removed, and as well as the movement of oil price in the global market. One would actually ordinarily think that for the fuel price should be higher than at this level. So it would suggest that there might be like a form of partial subsidy in place. And I would say that maybe probably the reason is actually to alleviate you know suffering in the country, just to to ensure that just to avert social unrest. So I mean the World Bank also have alluded to the fact that there's a form of partial subsidy going on, despite the fact that we have higher fuel prices globally, and then we still have like a stable four point price. So I'll say that there should be like a partial subsidy going on.
All right, thank you for that. We're speaking with Oyinkansola Aregbesola, investment research analyst, ARM Securities. We're talking about the aftermath or the business effect of this attack by Iran on Israel and Naira appreciating against the dollar. So if you've got a question or a comment, this is the time, send it to us. The WhatsApp number is 0809 440 981. Oyikan, let's move to the Naira. So it has appreciated from 1,800 to $1 to, I think on Friday 1,100. What can we attribute? What can we say is responsible for this move?
All right, thank you. It's really not news that we've been seeing the current CBN governor actually put to work since he resumed office last year, and most especially the policies that he has particularly pushed out this year. Starting from January. I mean, started with the banks. With the net open position, telling the banks that they are not allowed to, have higher foreign currency, higher to have assets in foreign currency, which is greater than their liabilities. That is, their assets and liabilities ought to be zero, or even liabilities more than the foreign currency assets. Essentially that led to some of these banks having to offload the dollars that they have in reserve, and that significantly, or that affected supply in the market, or liquidity in the market, which is really what is actually driving the sharp depreciation in the naira. And as well as different policies in terms of the monetary policy rates, how that the CBN have continued to increase rates to attract foreign portfolio investment into the country, and we've seen that materialize. I mean, we've seen a lot of FPIs coming. There was even a time that the CBN issued, the federal government issued special euro bonds to foreign investors, and of course the very famous backlog, how that the CBN has cleared, the FX backlog that they accumulated from last year. And doing all this has actually improved foreign investors' confidence in the economy, and has seen an influx of dollars coming to the economy. And we've already mentioned earlier or previously, before that, the reason why we are seeing devaluation of naira is because of supply issues. And we're already seeing some form of supply in the market, and that's majorly the reason for the appreciation that we are seeing in the naira.
Well, just to tie this up, as of last month, it's reported that the Naira is recorded adjudged to be one of the best performing currencies around the world. So can we possibly break the 900 Naira to the US dollar barrier? And can you give us your word on that?
I actually see that materialize. I mean, it's a possibility. If we should see continuous supply in the market. I mean, the if we should recall, there was a time Goldman Sachs came up with a report that they see the naira, due to the policies that CBN are implementing, they see the naira appreciate to $1,200 mark, and that was around the time that dollar was 1.81715. But then they've actually even recently come up again to say that it's actually possible to see the naira close below 1,000 naira to $1. So yes, if we see more supply in the market, it's definitely possible to see naira below the 1,000 naira mark.
All right, let's look at some of the messages coming through. Taya says the Nigerian economy truly is a paradox. Government says subsidies gone in theory, but in practice, everybody knows what's going on. Perhaps to maintain economic stability, but they shouldn't create another bubble. Another message coming from Gilbert Musa.
Tayo complaining, or he wants to pay the difference of what is missing out when he goes to buy fuel.
It seems like Taya wants to pay the difference.
I don't want to pay it.
I was going to throw that at you,
I
but
certainly
I
do
don't
not
want to
either.
pay. I don't want to pay it.
you guys like free stuff, freebies. But let's get to Gilbert's message now.
Gilbert says, on the oil price increase due to the Iran-Israel unrest, it is on record that during the Gulf War in 1990/91, Nigeria till date has not accounted for the oil windfall, which is the profits during the stated period. The recent oil theft has also complicated and undermined our profit from the oil sector.
Well, that seemed like a fine place for us to drop it. But as an investment professional, are dollar securities or dollar cash still part of a wider Naira investment portfolio? If you do this for us in less than a minute.
Okay, so I would say that it actually depends on the investment objective of the particular investor. If you have an obligation in dollar, yes, why not hold? But then if you don't have any dollar obligation, I don't see a reason why you should hold, especially dollar cash. I mean, we're already seeing appreciation in naira, so it could be negative for you. But if you have an obligation in dollars, yes, why not?
Well, it fits in properly with Cisco Delgado's message when he says, Tayo, you have to be patriotic. And so Oni is also saying that too, you have to be patriotic. Well, thanks so much for your time
Thank
this
you.
morning. We've been
Thank you
speaking
for
with
having me.
Oyinkansola Aregbesola, Investment Research Analyst, ARM Securities. Have a great day.
And you too. Thank you.